You may have been hearing the author and broadcaster Sir Terry Pratchett has died after a long battle with Alzheimer's. He was 66 only. He was first diagnosed with the condition back in 2007, became a very vocal campaigner for further investment and research into Alzheimer's and for reforms of the laws surrounding assisted dying. In an interview with the BBC broadcast in December 2013, he said being told he had Alzheimer's had filled him with despair.
I remember when I was first diagnosed, the feeling I had, there was nowhere you could go, no one you could talk to, nothing you could do, and there you were. Had I had cancer, that would not have been a good thing, but at least you knew where the shining path was to something happening.
Sir Terry Pratchett speaking in December 2013. Dr. Pat Harkin is, you'd say, a Terry Pratchett superfan. Pat, hello. Let's try again. Hello, Pat.
Used to describe me, yes, superfan. Yeah.
Well, that's fair enough, isn't it? You are a superfan, really, aren't you?
I've known Terry for, I don't know how long, 25 years? I mean, I started out just as somebody who read the books, just as a fan, but, we became friends over the years. And, I mean, I knew he was, this day was coming, but it's still hard to come to terms with it. It's a great loss for everybody. The whole world has lost a great talent.
Well, he sold over 85 million books. He was one of Britain's best-selling authors, the Discworld series. I've got to admit, I spoke to him a few years ago on this show, but I never read any of his books. I guess a lot of youngsters growing up did do sort of fantasy novels, but once he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2007, he did do a lot for the Alzheimer's Society and for research, put a lot of money in.
Oh, he did. He personally put a lot of money in. He donated $1 million. And, I mean, all over the world, fans... There are enormous collections of Discworld fans everywhere, and we have conventions and meetings and whatever. And we've always raised money for various charities. And the Orangutan Foundation, because one of Terry's biggest characters is the librarian of Unseen University, who has been transformed into an orangutan. But over more recent years, it's also been for Alzheimer's research. I must admit, I have no idea precisely how much has been raised, but I'm going to say it was a lot.
Yeah. And he campaigned as well for the laws on assisted suicide to be relaxed as well.
Yeah. He did. I mean, I'm happy is not the right word, but I'm glad to see that he didn't need to take that route in the end, that he was able to be at home with his family and his cat.
And what made him so special for you, Pat, as a writer, above everything else?
That's really hard to pin down. He could tell a good story. He could. He was funny. In person, he was quick and he was witty. He was also amazingly open and approachable to his fans. He would do signing queues at bookstores for 4, 5, 6 hours until his hand wouldn't move anymore, just to meet more fans. He was clever. If he had an idea, he would... You read his book and you think you're reading a comedy novel, and then you realise he's suckered you in and he's making you think about something important. And, he wrote about everything. He wrote about gender equality. He wrote about racial stereotyping. He wrote about politics. He wrote about religion, all hidden inside these apparently light-hearted fantasy books. There was always a new topic coming up, always something new.
Yeah. Well, one of the all-time great writers that this country's ever produced, and an emotional day for those that knew him and loved his work. Pat, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Dr. Pat Harkin, Terry Pratchett, he knew him and a big fan of his work.